Welcome everybody in the room, and welcome everybody on screen. And I'd just like to start by asking Clive, have we got any special visitors other than the speaker and the scholars on screen?
That's all I've seen today, President David, is our speaker and our scholars is visiting us, yes.
Thank you. We have many visitors in the room, and we wanted to exchange some banners, but I would like to do that a little bit later, so we can organise ourselves, perhaps, for people to come up and present their banners. So I'd like to move on, and it is not too rare, but it's a very great privilege of the president of the club to induct new members, and we have a new member to induct today. And I'd ask Enrique Houseman if he would come to the fore so that I can show you on screen. Oh, yeah. Well, welcome. Your application for membership has gone through all the proper channels of the club. Every member of the club has been consulted, and nobody obviously knows your full background, so nobody has said no. And we are very, very pleased to have you here to induct you today. But I'll come back to that in a moment. A little bit about Rotary first. Rotary was established in 1905 by a chap called Paul Harris. And he started a club in Chicago that rapidly spread around the world, fairly rapidly spread around the world. And by 1911, 1912, we were being chartered. So on the table here, we have our charter from the, I'm sorry you can't see it, when it gets hidden by this virtual background.
It's the virtual background, it does it, yeah.
The virtual background on the way. But we're looking at the Rotary Charter for club number 50, which was signed by Paul Harris and by the President, Secretary and Treasurer of the club. I'm sure there's a Paul Harris. And at that time, we were the 50th club to be chartered in the world. However, we were the first club to be chartered outside of North America. And from those beginnings, we grew rapidly to become a significant club in the UK and in Europe. And we have done an awful lot of things over the last 110 years. Rotary International also has grown. And now there are there's about 1.2 million Rotarians in the world who are your neighbours, friends, and partners for charitable endeavour. There are 30,000 clubs around the world. The first one, 1905, and the most recent one, I'm sure, has been formed in the last couple of weeks. In London, we have had clubs formed in the last year that have not yet seen their first anniversary. So it's both an old and a young movement. And we have a lot of principles which you should have been informed of before you applied. I'd like to call upon Clive to tell us a little bit about the application of Enrique.
Thank you, President David. Well, it is my honour and privilege to introduce Enrique to the club. Enrique is Spanish, but of Spanish and German parentage, hence Enrique, Spanish, Houseman, German name. Enrique comes from Barcelona. He went to university in Barcelona, and as coming from there, he speaks fluent Spanish, Catalan, and German. He's also a French speaker, and you will see when you listen to him, he's also fluent in English. I had the pleasure of talking to him. He was actually walking along a street in Madrid when we conducted our application conversation, which was very interesting indeed. Enrique has worked for Austrian and German companies. He works as an entrepreneur in finance. He was a member of the Rotary Club of Barcelona, so he's quite familiar with the world of Rotary. We're delighted to see Enrique. He's one of our younger members he will be, and we're also always looking for younger members to join with new ideas and perhaps even more energy than some of us older members have got. So, President David, it is my delight and honour to present Enrique Houseman to you for induction as a member of the Rotary Club of London.
Thank you very much, Clive. I will now formally induct you, Enrique, as a member of the club. We'll shake hands. I should be giving you the bylaws and one or two other little items at the moment, but I'm sure they are on the way. If I could see the secretary on screen, I'd ask her to make sure that they are on the way. You sure should be getting a name badge and so on. And so we very much look forward to seeing you and working with you as a member of this club for years and years to come. Would you like to say a few words?
It's an absolute pleasure meeting you all. It's an absolute pleasure that was accepted as part of the
Do you want to hold it for a minute? Then
yeah, I mean, as Clive already mentioned, I come from Spain and Germany, moved here a couple of months ago, so very much looking forward to meeting like-minded people. We all are, and yeah, working on a couple of projects together.
Join a club with 112 members, but they come. 74 of those members were either they were not born, or the parents were not born in the United Kingdom. We do pride ourselves on our international connections. Thank you. I'd like now to celebrate some birthdays. We have 4 birthdays to celebrate, one of whom is in the room, I believe. Well, I'm sure she's in the room, and one of them whom I can see on screen. So firstly, Rajiv. Rajiv, would you say hello? No, Rajiv.
Mute yourself, Rajiv. Say hello. Rajiv is certainly with us. I've been talking to him earlier.
I see Rajiv. Rajiv, I can show you. Yeah. Except for the virtual screen, I would show you a pen that you will not be receiving, but will be available in the room for a future birthday.
Thank you so much.
Maybe wish you a very happy birthday of today. But don't. We'll do it if we may. I'll do one happy birthday at the end of the 4 people. Christina, would you come and join us briefly? It is Christina's birthday tomorrow.
Well, it's nice to be here for my birthday. We haven't been here for so long. It's so nice to be back here with everybody. Hello to everybody. Hello.
Buongiorno.
Hello, Vasi.
Buongiorno.
Hello, my love. Haven't seen you for ages. And Clive.
Hi. We can't hear you, David.
We have to take it from the people on Zoom. There was supposed to be a. Where's the boy? So there was a microphone. Okay, no microphone. No. Save it. Let's have another go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christina and Rajiv. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's also Maha's birthday on the 15th, and Ricky Perihat's birthday on the 3rd, also on the 15th. Happy birthday to all our members who are celebrating it this week. I'd now like to call upon Rajiv, our birthday boy, to introduce our scholars. Rajiv.
Yes, thank you, President David. I'm delighted to welcome our 4 global scholars for 21-22. They are Makoto Kimura from Japan, Kazuki Fujishima, or called Kaz, from Japan as well, Daniel Davis from the United States, and Nobuyuki Kawachi from Japan too. Well, we call him Nobu. As we only have 2 minutes today and a fairly packed schedule, so we'll have a brief introduction from the scholars today and have a lengthier introduction in a couple of weeks' time. So if I can start with Kaz, perhaps you can just say a few words, please, Kaz. Kaz, are you with us?
Okay. Yes. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear and see you. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Greetings from Japan. Thank you for giving that opportunity. I'm honored to I'm honored to be a scholar for the Rotary scholarship program, and unfortunately, I'm still in Japan. And I would start my study distance basis in a London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. I have just started studying from October, and actually I concurrently I would work over the studying, and then my current engagement is to operate development project, public health project in Africa. Especially I'm in charge of the Ghana and then Kenya. For improving sexual reproductive health for pregnant women and youth to access the essential services. So I would go and back forth between the academic studying and then the frontline work. Accordingly, my study would continue for 3 or 4 years. So following that kind of the opportunity, I would like to share my progress on my work as well as the studying. Thank you so much for today's the opportunity. Over to the facilitator. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaz. Over to you, Daniel.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's wonderful to be with you, at least via Zoom today. I look forward to meeting you at a number of events throughout the year. My name is Danielle Davis. I'm a scholar from the United States, from New York City, sponsored by District 7230, and was fortunate to also receive support from our original Rotary Club in Chicago, which is where I lived for 2 years when I worked as a management consultant. I am pursuing a master's degree in gender, peace, and security at the London School of Economics and Political Science. And this work dovetails really nicely with the professional pursuits I've had over the past several years, working in gender-based violence prevention and police community reconciliation. So I will simultaneously be a senior field advisor, which has been my position at a research center at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and pursuing those studies to marry the work and the things that are happening in the United States alongside developments abroad, and especially in the global South, where I'm looking to focus. So Kaz, I'll love to hear more about your project as well. Thank you all, and I look forward to talking more and learning from you all and hearing from you over the course of the year.
Thank you, Daniel. Can we all go over to Nobu, please?
Oh, hi, everyone. Good afternoon. And yeah, it's my pleasure to have this opportunity here too. And I'm also from Japan. And so I was dispatched by District 2640, Wakayama Jonan District. And I'm doing KCL, like King's College London, and the Master of Global Health and Social Justice. And so like I was previously medical doctor and like mainly treating HIV patients at the capital of Japan, Tokyo. And so like this opportunity is so like precious for me, and I really look forward to like life in London, and also I really hope to see you in person one day near. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nobu. Thank you. And our last scholar is Makato Kimura. Clive, can you see her on screen? I have not spotted her as yet.
I didn't see her.
No.
No.
All right. Well, if she does turn up, we'll get her in. But on behalf of the Rotary Club of London, welcome to our Rotary family. And we wish you all the very best for your stay in London, and see you at the conference on Friday morning. Back to you, Clive.
Well, back to President David.
Back to President David.
Thank you very much indeed, Rajiv. I have a lot of notices, and there's a lot of announcements we'd like to make, but I don't want to defer the speaker beyond past. He has a lot to tell us, and I'm hoping that we can come back to some of that at the end of the meeting, so that those that have to go at 2 will be aware of the content of Stefan's talk. There are just 2 announcements I feel I must make. One is the district conference, 15th to the 17th of this month. If anybody wishes to go to that and hasn't yet told me, preferably, I've been unable to communicate to them the functions the club is holding for their pleasure at the event. So please do get in touch if you intend coming to the conference. The notices have gone out, and I welcome that. The other is support for the International Gala. I'm sure that those that have been keeping in touch with the news will know how dire the position is in Lebanon now. Last year, we raised about $150,000 from London and associated clubs to purchase capital equipment for paediatric ward and for children's education. All of that dependent on electricity. They have no electricity. We need now to support them with a much more basic requirements of particularly food for babies, food for young children. The governance has broken down in Lebanon. Rotary offers the best hope, perhaps, of meeting and delivering the community needs and raising the morale and hope. And we as a club in London should be doing our best to raise the morale of the Rotary clubs in Lebanon. Every intelligent, qualified person in Lebanon could probably earn more money by leaving, but they're there. They're staying to help their communities, and I'm hoping that we can help them support their communities by helping support their clubs. Support the event on the 6th of November, the International Gala. If you cannot come yourself, and yet it's only because of time and availability, please make a donation of an equivalent sum through Hugh to our charitable efforts on behalf of Beirut and Lebanon. Do not ignore the opportunity, and do respond and do attend if you can. Let us make it a really good event, well supported and achieving something of significance, as we did last year for capital goods. Let's see if we can't do something similar this year. Thank you. Moving on, Colleen, moving on, I'd like to do our first toast of the lunch, the Queen.
Queen.
The Queen.
Queen.
The Queen. Our loyal toast. And now I like the bottle of water. And now moving to our speaker. Colleen, would you please introduce Stefan to us?
Thank you, President David. Members and guests, welcome to today's meeting. The vocational team are pulling together across the next 12 months a program called Living and Working in the Smart World. Effectively, we are all users in one way or another of technology, and to varying degrees. With the evolution of the smart world, careers and skills to work, navigate and live in this world have evolved rapidly. Today, we welcome back with great pleasure Stefan Hatterick, who actually will be known to many members of the club as a former RCL member who is now based in Frankfurt, but we are going to try and get him back to join us one day. Now, Stefan is the global head of omnichannel for GE Healthcare. Now, that may sound like an absolutely fantastic title, and I'm so jealous, but it is a new career and a new skill base that we all must become familiar with because it touch points every day of your life. So over to Stefan to tell us, please, all about omnichannel and how he has become the global head of that role for GE Healthcare. Over to you, Stefan. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen, for the very warm welcome. Before I get started, just a note to the host. It says host disabled attendee screen sharing. So once we get this sorted out, I'm happy to share my screen. But in the meantime, let me just start by sharing my understanding. When Colleen reached out, right, the ask has been, hey, Stefan, do you have time for 20 minutes, of which 15 are presentation and 5 are Q&A, just to present on omnichannel with like very basic 2-part question. Number 1, what the heck is omnichannel? And number 2, like what job opportunities result out of, in that space. So I really want to focus on those 2 aspects and share my knowledge as much as I've been doing this over the past couple of years. Now let me, start sharing my screen. I see it's been allowed. Now there's a couple of things I need to click. Oh God. Technology. So basically I've been in the space, in the commercial space for 9 years, roundabout. And
the screen's not sharing, Stefan.
Yeah, hold on. So I may need to
restart.
So just in case you're wondering, you're not losing me, I may need to restart in order to, start my screen sharing. Yeah. So hold on.
I think you've lost.
Went off. He's coming back in now.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm back. Can you guys hear me again?
I can see you. We can see you, and your screen is coming up.
There we go. So it did work. So there we go. So look, like I said, right, very basic. What is omnichannel, and also what job opportunities can you get from this space? When you talk about omnichannel, you just really need to first have a discussion on what that is, because you can look omnichannel from 2 different perspectives. One is the marketing side, where you have been likely doing this or hearing from this over the past 10 years, digital marketing, search engine optimization, anything on the web, basically. That's nothing new. What I'm focusing on is really the commercial side of it. And there's something that, is definitely new, what hasn't been done in the past, which is, especially in the medtech space, you have a tendency to go outside sales or frontline sales reps directly going to hospitals or practitioners in order to meet them and find out if they want to buy equipment or services. So that's been the past for like a very long time. So what's new is that in the omnichannel space, you look at building out more commercial channels, of which one is, for example, a digital sales channel, which is, Colleen, what you were referring to in a smart world, right? What is that? So end-to-end digital marketing to e-commerce. So that's one. The other one is inside sales. So think of a call center, think of you got someone calling you up, following up on, let's say, a research you've done online. So if you put those 3 simple commercial channels together, that's what you call omnichannel. Okay, so in essence, the goal of omnichannel is to, and you can see this here on the right quite nicely, is to provide the right message at the right time through those different channels to the customers, right? To make sure that you address their buying journey preference. It's really important, right? So it's really understanding what the customer's needs are. So what's in it from a corporate perspective? From a corporate perspective, you want to do things like increase visibility. So instead of going out to the customers in all parts of the world with your outside sales teams, which you don't have enough of, right? So it's impossible. You can now call them up, or you can, in an automated fashion, address them over those digital sales channels to increase visibility. Now, why is visibility important? If you know that there's an opportunity to sell something, well, then you have a chance of winning, right? If you don't even know about this opportunity, what's the point? So, and then the second part is the win rate. So win rate, how do you increase that with omnichannel? Is by creating this fabulous experience, this really customer-focused experience of buying. So that's what omnichannel is. Now let me go to the next slide here. And I only have a few because I really want to focus on Q&A to address your very specific questions at the end. I was looking into omnichannel way before COVID actually was coming to us, unfortunately. So COVID-19 only accelerated the trend of more digital selling or more omnichannel needs. So there's been lots of changes. I don't need to go into details on this call here, but basically, hospitals or practitioners didn't really let sales reps into their environments, right, for obvious reasons. And there's also been a buying behavior shift. If you buy on Amazon today as a customer, as an end customer user, you almost bring that expectation also from a B2B, business to business perspective as well. So, why would you buy differently working with the corporate than you already do on Amazon today, right? So there has been a shift in buying behavior. There has been a shift causing more remote work, less travel, less meeting face-to-face. So a change in commercial models was absolutely obvious that this had to happen. So just to conclude the definition and then go into the second part of the question, I think it's important to show this slide, and I'm going to tackle this from the right side to the left. It's good to know what omnichannel when you also say what it's not. So omnichannel is not pure digital selling. And again, digital selling is that end-to-end kind of website, digital marketing. You get an email, you click on it, you go online, you buy something like Amazon, and then you get a chip. So that's like a purely digital experience. That's not what omnichannel is. Okay, omnichannel is also not multi-channel, which is effectively you have those three lines that you see here going in parallel, right? So they don't cross and touch each other, which means that, hey, yeah, you can build out your digital sales experience. You can implement call centers and do all of this stuff, but it's still not omnichannel. So what is omnichannel then, right? And like I said in the beginning, omnichannel is really putting everything together. And what do I mean with this? So let's think of a car dealer example. You may see an ad online, you may see it even when you walk outside on the street, right? So you become aware of a product. And then you can potentially also click in a link in an email and go to the website, look at some nice pictures of the cars. You can start configuring the cars, right? You would also then see a picture of what your car looks like after all this configuration. And you may have questions in between, right? Do I want this feature or that feature? So you can call someone if you wanted to. You can also do a live chat with someone on the website to answer your specific questions on that feature, right? During your configuration process. So then you're finished with configuration, you see the price, you're quite happy with that, and then you think about a test drive, right? You might schedule that online as well. Or you may then decide to actually go to the dealer and really touch the car, have a look, right, if you wanted to. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there's a lot of variation of how this buying journey could be. And it's the customer that decides if they want to speak to a human being in person, over the phone, or if they want to chat with someone, or if they actually don't want to see anyone at all, right? We have been seeing people buying cars without ever seeing someone, so a human being, right? So that it's just the new norm. And that's what omnichannel is, the integration of all those channels. Because if you don't have this backbone of IT infrastructure, which captures all those digital breadcrumbs of what clicks you do on a website, what white papers you download, right? What products you look at, what configurations you've done, and so on and so forth. Well, then guess what? The sales rep wouldn't know about it and wouldn't be able to pick up from this journey. And this is what it's all about. It's not starting from the beginning again, but it's picking up in that other commercial channel where the customer has left. That's omnichannel, okay? And if I look at this, the last slide, and I can talk like an hour on this slide. It has a lot of content, but like I said, I want to give you opportunities to ask questions, especially when it comes about job opportunities. But so let me just explain what you see here. You see a customer buying journey, a pretty textbook answer, which is you first raise awareness, then you go through the consideration phase where the customer, like once aware, needs to make a buying decision. And then you go into the acquisition phase, and I'll talk through that in a minute. And then there's the post-purchase phase, which is service, loyalty. How do you keep in touch with the customer for more opportunities? That's on top is the customer buying journey. What you see here on the left is different sets of channels. Right? So I simplified earlier by saying there are 3 commercial channels: outside sales, inside sales, and then you have digital sales. You can break this further down and blend in also marketing into the mix. So you see things like digital marketing, which is like, think of an email campaign, search engine optimization. You're on Google, right, and you see certain things. The website, it says website. Most of us have an understanding that it's mostly static content, but a really good website is a website that allows for a lot of interaction and engagement, almost like you're on Zoom, that you are able to not just look at something, but based on the clicks you do, the content is changing, or you have engagement opportunities over live chat, or you can run a return on investment calculator just to see, hey, by when do I get my money back? How many treatments for this machine do I have to make to get my money back? And things like that. So think of a website being a simple term for a very complex machinery. And then you have those teams that I mentioned here. So outside, inside sales, that's all good. But if you look at the bottom, that's really where the magic happens. That's like the technology, and it sounds simple. Just to give you some idea of how we prioritize, or how I've done this at GE Healthcare when it comes to capital allocation. So I'm trying to not expose real numbers, but so think of 100 million is the overall investment of omnichannel for, let's say, one single year. That's not the real number, but just some percentages. You would need to invest around about 70 million. So 70% of the budget goes directly into customer 360 view, territory management, data integration, data cleanups, interfaces, linkage between marketing and commercial systems, you name it, right? Building new dashboards, consoles, online engagement opportunities. Like there is a ton of investment, which takes, by the way, 3 to 4 years just to develop that. Yeah, and then the rest goes into commercial activation into the region. So as you go and build this out, you typically don't do it for a single country, but you do it for a continent, let's say Europe, and then the Americas, because it's just a very big effort, and you'd like to scale and make sure that the investment yields a return pretty quickly. So now looking at those lines here, right, and those stars, that's just an example of a buying journey. And I just explained you the car dealer example. That's nothing else, right? So it says, hey, look, a call center guy is calling a customer up. After that call, he or she is sending like some digital marketing materials. Okay. The customer is then clicking on it, goes to the website, then talks to someone, over chat. Then in the end, there is an interaction with an outside salesperson on that specific equipment. And so, you can keep going here, right? The point is that because the customer buying journey is crossing all those channels, again, the emphasis lies on there's a heavy lifting on the IT side to be done. So speaking about the industry outlook, like where do I think, where have I experienced, where we're all going towards omni-channel digital selling? 2 years ago, if you asked me the same question, 2 years ago, the trend was clearly towards inside sales. Why? It's tangible, it's easy, it doesn't require a lot of heavy lifting. It's pretty much putting a couple of outside sales guys into call centers, reducing outside sales teams to make them more cost effective. And you can do this easily, right? So it's easier to imagine how you would put a group of people together in a room, give them a phone, here's your account list, go call them, and try to establish a meeting or sell. So if you ask me today, you would see almost every single company or corporate doing exactly that. So it's not a competitive advantage anymore. It's a necessity to catch up and not lose market share. If you would like to win market share, if you would like to stay ahead of competitors, that's where this second circle comes into play, where live chat is just one example, right? Don't get me wrong. So what I mean is like the digital sales channel that you need to build out, this complex beast. And because it is so expensive to build this out, not a lot of corporates have actually been focusing on it and also committed to make that big investment. So only a few. So that gives you the advantage. So thinking of job opportunities, now transitioning here. So one thing is managing sales development reps or business development reps or call center guys, whatever you want to call this, but how do you create an effective and efficient workforce remotely? So that's one area. And the bigger area for sure is technology. I mean, it's just look at stock prices of Microsoft, Amazon, everybody. I mean, they are successful because they are offering cloud-based solutions where you connect a lot of data together, provide an AI, artificial intelligence logic on top to then get automated recommendation, automated marketing campaigns. You would get automated, let's say, proposals of when to address a customer or prospects and how, through what channel. It's based on historical data, right? So that is, if you really want to go into a future-proof industry, technology it is, right? And that's just, I'm talking about omnichannel here. There's lots of other reasons why it's becoming more and more important. So that's kind of the high-level industry outlook. I spoke roughly for 50 minutes, which was my goal. But like I said, you may have a bunch of questions that I'd like to address. So let me pause for a sec and then see if there's any question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Stefan, could you take your screen off now, please? And then we can see people who are asking questions.
Yes, I do. Here we go.
Thank you very much. Can I just say to the people who are on Zoom, if you want to ask a question, can you please unmute yourself or put your hand up on the reactions button, because it'll bring you to the top of the list. And now back to you, President David, to talk to people in the room.
So thank you, Clive. I thought I'd try and watch the screen and the room at the same time. But I'd ask the room if they have any questions. Well, please, you have questions of Stefan, voice those questions you have. Online, who would like to ask?
We've got Ridian. Ridian has put his hand up, President David.
Okay, Ridian.
Thank you, David and Clive, and thank you, Stefan, for a most interesting talk. I'm particularly interested as a user of these different channels. I find it very frustrating when I'm doing live chat with a bot that I have to keep everything very, very simple. And the only way you can get a human being is by inserting the word terminate contract into the typing.
Yeah.
And what I would love from a clever chap like you is some way in which live chat was properly integrated, and there was, I didn't have to threaten to leave my broadband provider, my telephone provider, my bank, whatever, without having to take such a drastic step. What do you think to that?
Yeah, so hey, perfect observation. And live chat is something that everyone can relate to. So hey, specific to your question, when we selected a vendor, so a supplier or a technology to implement, it's been a 6-month project to really go through the competitive advantage of each of one of those tools. Now, the way that we tackled exactly the problem that you are addressing here is that we ran a half a year, 6 months at least, only live chat. And when I mean live chat, is like with a real human being. Why? to understand the questions that come through that channel, right? So what is the pattern? What are the questions that repeatedly come through, and what are the standard answers? You collect that data, you already have data to begin with, right? But you want to become smarter before you actually enable that bot. So this is what we've done. We've collected a lot of data, ran this for 6 months, and then what you do is you run into a hybrid model, which means that you type in a question, and if it's a standard question that doesn't require a human touch, you would try to provide this artificially intelligent, enriched answer, right, from the 6 months of experience that you've got, and test it. And you can very easily see if there's a follow-up question, right? If the answer was not, if the customer prospect is not happy with the answer, there would be an immediate switch, like almost within seconds, to a real person, in order not to create this level of frustration that you've gone through. So that's one way that we've addressing it. Now, let me also explain the challenge. If you are in the US, live chat, given this big geography, is an easy thing to implement. You have one single language, add Spanish, but it's simple. If you are in Europe, you have all those different countries with all those different languages, which makes it very difficult to get, resources to support that live chat channel, right? So in some countries we haven't even rolled it out. But again, long story to tell you that if you want to do it right, hey, don't start with a bot. Yeah, start with the real person. Collect that knowledge of what is it that people want to ask, and then always offer the opportunity within seconds to switch to a human being. Otherwise, you're losing a lot of credibility, for sure.
That's certainly my personal experience. And in fact, there are times when I have actually implemented my termination threat because I was so fed up with the lack of a relationship. Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Stefan, my question really, how much of the investment is to reduce cost and how much to improve service?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question, because the way that you want to implement this is not by saying, hey, this is a cost reduction program, because you are investing a lot. But the way you would articulate it is you would say, you are becoming more cost effective. So what we mean by that is, if you do omni-channel right, then your commercial overall cost, I call this commercial return on investment, which is you take the revenue divided by the selling cost overall. This would increase because you are becoming better. You are selling through digital sales channeling. You are selling through inside sales reps that that are less costly. So with the technology, you would actually increase your revenue more than your cost would increase. So it's not a cost reduction. It's not a, hey, look, outside sales reps, right? We're getting rid of you. It's really, the storyline has to be, we are trying to grow and gain market share.
Thank you. Any other questions in the room? No. I'd like then to call upon Doug Wills to give our vote of thanks to Stefan. Doug, if you'd be so kind.
Thank you, Stefan. That was interesting. I think we all hear much about how we don't go to the doctors. We have to do it all on screen. Now I know why the doctors get so impatient with us, because they have to go with you. And the idea of talking through a screen or through software is very difficult. And you have explained some of those difficulties and hopefully risen to some of the challenges. So congratulations for that. Thank you for enlightening us on what goes on behind the screen and behind the data. And I'm sure the club will thank you in the normal way. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
With my virtual screen, I'm going to have trouble showing you this certificate that I'd like to present to you, Stefan. If you care to drop your physical address to us, I'll post something. I'll post it to you, and then you can at least see it. But it's impossible otherwise. So please do drop Colleen or ourselves your postal address. Thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution. I'd now like to move on to some of the notices we have missed. Firstly, I'd like to welcome our international visitors in the room. Would all our Rotarian visitors please stand up? Thank you. I'd now like, if you like, one from each club, if you would care to come to the screen and say hello to the room. And then if you have a banner, I'm very pleased to exchange a banner with you. Tennessee. Start with Tennessee.
Should I do it here? I don't do this very well. I don't. Anyway, my name is Towns, like a city and a town. That's my real first name, Osborne. And I am here from Knoxville, Tennessee, from the Rotary Club of Knoxville, which was founded in 1915. And we had a big centennial celebration, and it's the oldest club in the area. So I'm happy my husband did not come up with me. I don't know why. But his name is Bob Marquis. And our marriage was facilitated by Rotary. We were on a project in Zimbabwe together, building a nursing school. And we were both on the committee. And by the time we got to Victoria Falls, he said, I want to keep traveling with you for the rest of my life. So here we are in London. And this is the banner. This is interesting. Our banner has the two things that Tennessee loves, and that's our beautiful Smoky Mountains and our beautiful water. And in between, there's a peace dove, because Rotary stands for peace, and that's what we really are here working for. And most significantly, our club gives a peace award every year to the individual or organization in our community that has made our community more peaceful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's very good. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Hello, I'm Jason Salter from the Rotary Club of Redding, California. Redding is a more rural town, but we have a very large, active 180-member club. And we're surrounded by mountains with a river that runs through our city. So our banner has a bridge, which again you can't see, designed by Santiago Calatrava. It was the first one built in the United States. And we would love for you all to come and visit. Okay.
Which other clubs would like to come and say hello briefly? From Bangladesh? Sorry, no, from India. From India. Bangalore. Sorry.
Oops, sorry. Hi, everyone. Visiting from Bangalore, India, and that's the club, the Rotary Club of Bangalore. We are the oldest, largest club in District 3190. I'm the Vice President at the moment, will take over as President for the year 2023-24. Our club is extremely active. We are rolling out projects almost every day. one project a day, and we are trying to make that a record. We live in a country where projects, and there's a lot of work that can be done and is being done. Just to take a few, I'm going to tell you about one of our best projects. We are building a river, due to the water shortage. We're actually restarting the river, and we are establishing, bettering the villages alongside that river. It's along the Pala River. And that's one of our very major projects, because thousands and thousands and thousands of villagers are impacted because of water and the civilization becoming better. We also run a school for the people who are disabled. We have a school for the needy, and we have loads and loads of projects. We are hoping to work with international clubs and build sister club relations. We have many sister clubs. It used to be in Japan. I noticed that some of your students or fellow exchange students possibly are from Japan. We have one in Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and we look at doing a lot of projects with them. Women empowerment is key. We do a lot for women empowerment in that area. We were the first club to start way back, maybe 15 years ago, a women empowerment wing. So we're concentration on women is very, very high. As I said, we have about 280 members, and we are looking at touching 300 very soon. We have started taking a lot of young people to groom them to take on leadership roles. So hopefully the seniors will be the advisors. That's how it is. On a personal note, I run my own NGO. I work with women and the girl child. So that's our focus. And now I'd like to exchange this bag. It's been wonderful meeting you, David.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. If I may exchange.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I also have a Rotary pin that I would like to hand over to you. So that's the pin of our club. No, of the yeah. So yes. Shekhar Mehta's. We are taking it very seriously, and we anyway have a huge women empowerment, and now education for girls is key. Yeah. Thank you, and it's wonderful being here.
We agree on the agenda. Do you have any other clubs that want to come forward to say hello? Or no banner? You don't have a banner. Come on, come on.
Hello. Hello. I'm Ming Chen. I'm from the Rotary Club of Port Louis from Mauritius. I'm a past president, past assistant governor, and currently I'm the chairperson for fundraising at the district level. It's my third visit to the Rotary Club of London. Third one, the two first ones were before COVID, when it was safer to travel. I'm here as well because I'm talking to Rotary London regarding the Queen Jubilee for next year. So we're going to work together. I'm also here as the chair for the district fundraising, and I'm going to bring to you a dream paradise. Because I have the authorization, President David. Yes, of course.
There is going to be a major opportunity to buy raffle tickets, and the key prize is going to be a trip to Malaysia. Sorry. They're just handing out the flyers in the room so that people can see the attractive destination that's being offered as part of this raffle.
Yeah, it is actually a premiere. You are the first Rotarians outside our district to know about that. It has not been released yet. It will be released on the 20th of October, online booking, and you can buy the ticket for 30 euros. All the money will go to foundation. Okay, the offer is 2 business class tickets to Mauritius, 10 days hotels. There's a selection of the hotels. There's a golf hotel, of course, for those who love golf. And we hope we can reach the target. There will be only 6,000 tickets and exclusively sold to Rotarians. So it will be in the channel. Of course, because of Brexit, we're giving priority to the UK. So as I'm concerned, I've been in Rotary for 10 years, over 10 years. My wife is a Rotarian in a different club. My son is a Rotaractor. He's doing his master's here. My daughter is an interactor. She's started her first year at university. So I hope you buy the ticket, but there will be only one winner. Thank you very much.
I'm afraid we are running over time, and several people in the room have gone back to work. But we have 1 or 2 other items I'd like certainly to cover, particularly next week's meeting. I'm hoping that Vice President Ian Balcombe will tell us something about our next week's speaker. President, fellow Rotarians, visitors, next week we celebrate Trafalgar Day, for those that don't know, and it's also almost 40 years since the Falklands conflict back in 1982. So next week we've got Commander Jonathan Powis, who was involved in the Falklands conflict and was navigation officer on HMS Conqueror, which eventually sank the Belgrano, which is a pivotal moment in that particular battle. Now, we heard about communications today. 40 years ago, he was told, his submarine HMS Conqueror was told to get down to Falklands fairly quickly. Without any communication, they got to the Falklands, put the periscope up and found them in the middle of a major conflict. So he tells a story about tracking the Belgrano. He was present when the command was given to sink the Belgrano, and he gives the background as to reasons why the Belgrano was sunk. I have heard the presentation. It is excellent, both informative and he's got slides, and it's a should be a very informative talk and a very interesting talk next week, Mr. President. Clive or others, are there any particular notices that people on screen or in the room feel we should be giving today that we can't either give next week or by flyers or emails?
I see nobody asking to do so on the Zoom link, David.
Thank you. Wizardry and Wood, Vivian? No. So the final toast of the day of lunch is to Rotary and Peace the world over. So if you care to.
Rotary and Peace the world over.
Rotary and Peace the world over.